If I touch my keyboard, I'll go.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, that winter time. I love that.
Yes,
You
winter
shock
static,
everything you
dry.
touch.
Yep, exactly. Dry air and.
It's your electric personality.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
there we go. We'll go with that.
Have you ever been zapped?
Yes, many times.
It hurts.
I have a lovely little excerpt of that in Bite Me, where like he goes to give her coffee and like shocks her, and he's like, "You shouldn't have been scuffling your feet on my carpet." Like,
Yep.
should know better.
Oh yes. Just walking across the carpet does it.
Yeah, but then you turn it into a game,
everybody.
especially if you have kids.
Hello there.
Hey, Anita.
Hey,
Hey,
Anita.
cool gamer. All right. Well, how many weeks have we been off now? Is it 2 or 3 weeks?
2? I
I know
think.
we were off last week for Thanksgiving. Were we off
Yep.
the week before that?
Yeah, I think. I have no idea.
I don't know. Time doesn't have any meaning. I don't know if you're in the same camp that I'm at.
Yeah.
But by the time you
Lovely,
hit
timey,
November,
wimey.
yeah, November to January 1st is just a blur.
It is. It honestly is.
Yes.
Time is a
Completely is.
construct.
Oh, and we've got a Rebecca. Well, hey guys,
sorry.
welcome back to another episode of Spilling Ink. You know, we're the talk show that takes you behind the book to meet the authors and professionals in the publishing industry. And as always, we've brought someone on to introduce you to and to talk about her books and her writing process. Hi, Ariel. Welcome.
Hello.
And Jane, as always, how are you doing after the holidays?
I'm doing good. I'm 5 pounds down from fasting.
I'm probably
We won't
5
talk
pounds
about
up.
small pizza and half a hoagie I ate today.
I like this, the slurred times. Rebecca, I think I'm going to use that from
I
now
like
on.
that. Yes,
Slurred
it is the
times.
slurred
times. Yes.
It is. It's such a blur. And I've got my son's birthday's next week. So we've got that.
Mhm.
The school has like 3 weeks before they go on break. So they're cramming in as much holiday crap as they can.
Yep.
So there's like something to do all the time. Like,
Yeah, I've got
I
my
don't
daughter's anniversary and my son's birthday this month too. So yeah.
I always
Just
say
go.
I only know I don't really know what day it is. I just know what's due.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
know
Well,
what's
I know
going
it's
on by the-
December.
yeah.
I had to ask. I was like, "What day in December is it today?"
Like,
I
oh
live-
yeah, it's December. It is
Yes,
December. Oh
it's
yes, like
December.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
See
we've
the
actually made it
Christmas
into
stuff?
December. Hey, I did my Christmas stuff before Thanksgiving this year. I was one of those horrible people.
We did too.
I did it the weekend before because I knew we weren't going to be up for it the weekend after when we got back from, seeing the littles and the dog from hell.
Yeah, my husband wanted the tree up like before Thanksgiving in like the worst way, and I'm over decorating, and I was like, I can't even think about Christmas, man. And he's like, we gotta get the tree up, so we got the tree up, and he decorated and everything, and he's a good sport about all that.
We literally took down the Halloween decorations and replaced them with the Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah, he was asking the day after Halloween. He's like, when are we gonna put up Christmas decorations? I'm like, I'm in mourning, not yet.
Yep. I just turned off the light over there so you can see the little lights going up and over. Santa isn't lit up tonight. Oh yeah, he is. The tree.
Do you have snow yet?
No.
No,
we had it and it went away. It rained today.
Oh, it rained
and
over
rained
here
and rained.
too,
So we went shopping and got all our Christmas stuff done.
So are you guys all done with Christmas shopping?
Yes, we're done with shopping. All the gifts have been wrapped. The only thing that hasn't is what goes in those things. And I pointed to the right place.
Yes. Good job. Good job.
Yeah. So I have not wrapped those. I was just like, I'm like, I don't feel like doing that today. I did everything else.
How about you, Ariel? You done with Christmas shopping?
Mostly. I have a couple little things left to get for a couple people, but for the most part, everything was ordered from Amazon or online or
Black Friday.
Yep. Yep. So other than that, I'm pretty much done. I have to wrap everything, and I will probably procrastinate till the last minute to do that because my husband is the wrapper. He's very good at wrapping presents, and I'm very good at sticking them in a bag with tissue paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. Keep it simple.
Yeah. No, but I will try to wrap them because I do have some books and stuff that are going out that I'll have to wrap. So I might as well just wrap presents at the same time.
Right.
Speaking of books as Christmas presents, I have always gone and found at like Savers or wherever books for my kids for Christmas, but never have they asked for books until this year.
Oh, wow.
Zoe has fallen in love with the Wings of Fire series, and she is pouring through these books like crazy. I originally got, I think, the series up to book 10, and she's like, I need the rest of them.
Whose series is it? Stephanie Mero's Wings of Fire series?
Cannot remember who the author is off the top of my head. But I couldn't believe it. I've never had a kid, and my oldest, she's grown off to college, ask for books for Christmas until now, and she shocked me with that one. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, my son did that to me, and I was like, oh, because my daughter never wanted books. So it was like, okay. So when my son asked for, John Mayberry's Ruin series, I got him the whole series.
That's a good one.
I got John to send me signed plates.
That's so cool. He is so cool.
Yeah, he is. So
every time we've had him on the show, he's such a genuine, cool guy.
Yes.
Aww.
Yeah, he is. So, but yeah, I mean it is wonderful when the kids ask, especially when the ones before haven't.
As Rebecca just said, they're defective if they're not asking for books.
Oh man.
my daughter too. She's quick with the zingers. We were talking before school. We do the Milers walk every morning before school, and she said something about I told my classmates that my mom's an author, and they were like, "Oh, is she famous?" No, I said she's an author. Didn't say she was famous.
Ouch!
Thanks.
Be like, well, if I ever need a humble check.
This coming from the kid who most needs the accolades and appreciation whenever she does anything. She could draw a line on a paper and be like, "Look, Mom, isn't it the best you've ever seen?" Here she is. She's not famous. She's just my mom.
That's great.
But that's okay. She asked for books. So, Rebecca, are you saying that Allie's defective? Because we just had to talk about that. My oldest she's a rock star.
Yes,
I don't know how I got so lucky with her. She is a freaking rock star. This year, she is our personal Santa. She is making both Hunter and Zoe's Santa wish list happen.
Oh, nice.
I'm famous, but not in elementary schools.
That's cute.
Yeah, she blows me away. Like, I don't know how I got so lucky, and when the hell did she grow up and become such a mature young lady? God dang it. I was not that smart at her age. Yeah, we're almost ready for Christmas. Almost.
Ariel, do you have any kids?
No, I do not.
No.
It is me and my husband and my giant personality.
That's enough.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
It is.
My kids are out of the house. One's married, has her own business, and the other one's getting married next year. So
I'm sure if you ask my husband, he would tell you that I am enough. I am enough children for everybody. He's going in the background. I was joking because my dad and I have a tradition where every year we will go out together for Christmas, and I will pick out my presents. He will buy them, and then I will pretend to be surprised on Christmas. And so, so this year he said to me, "Is there something, in particular that you want?" And I said, entirely not joking, I said, "I want magic mixies." And he's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It is a toy for children that I absolutely want because 6-year-old me would have loved this." And it is like a legit, if you don't know what it is, you have to look them up. They're the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. It is a cauldron, right?
Yeah.
And you fill the cauldron with water, and it has all these little like packets that you rip them open. You put one has glitter and it makes it, sparkly. The other one makes it fog, and this whole thing. And it comes with a little wand, and you tap the wand, and it like releases a mechanism at the bottom of the cauldron that flips over and gives you a stuffed animal toy. And I've never wanted anything so much as I want this.
Okay,
toy,
I'm gonna have to look
I want that
up.
for Christmas. And he was like, all right.
I'm gonna have to look that up for Zoe. That sounds like something she would absolutely love. She's my like baby witch in training.
I am 37 years old and I have to have this.
Well, today we went to a store and they had hot chocolate bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, those are good.
I got a couple of those for us for Christmas.
And Darren's like, what are those? I'm like, I think they're hot chocolate bombs. And I turned it and I was reading. I'm like, yeah, they're hot chocolate bombs. He got the apple cider one. He's
Well,
like,
that sounds so
I have
good.
to have one of those. I'm like,
sounds
he goes,
so
why don't
good.
you get one for you? My mother-in-law got one for her and my father-in-law.
I
So
got
it
a
was just
couple
like-
from one of my little cousins who did like a school fundraiser with chocolates and stuff. They had the hot chocolate bombs, and I got us a couple. I can't wait to try them. I haven't
Yeah,
tried
I
them
can't wait to
recently.
try it either. So it's like,
They're
ooh.
good. So
Uh,
should we talk some books or should we just keep on
Sure.
the Christmas talk?
We can talk books. We can talk
Yes.
Christmas. Whatever.
Hey,
I'm
you know what
chatty
makes a
Cathy.
great
Books.
Christmas present? Books.
yes. Yes.
How's that for a transition?
Yeah, there you go.
Show us your wares.
Yes. Let's see some of those beautiful
Yes.
books you were showing pre-show.
Yes.
So I have Voices in the Dark, which came out October 18th. It is a Why Choose reverse harem romance. And if you do buy the paperback, you get this beautiful formatting in here.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's very
Yes.
pretty.
So this one's a bit darker than my normal type of story. I enjoy Halloween and I do enjoy a lot of darker themes, and this was my first time to really play with that. So we have the monsters in the book are a gargoyle, a shadow, and a hide behind cryptid. So, and I think it was the Real Aquarian who reviewed it on TikTok, and she described it as proper monster spice, which I think was a great endorsement. Fast and easy, quick, proper monster spice. Because it is a short book. There is a second book that is coming out, Whispers in the Woods, and it is coming out in January because there was just so much hype and so much love for this, which I am just thrilled about. And I also have my completely opposite direction, The Marriage Pact, which is my first stab at a contemporary romance between a best friends to lovers situation in a small town, and is actually set in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, and it was a completely different direction, but also equally as fun. So,
Now, what prompted you to write such different genres?
So I've been having a little bit of a love affair with monster romance lately, and just been like devouring it nonstop. So of course I wanted to write one. But I initially came up with the idea for Voices in the Dark about a year ago, when I first started really seeing a bunch of different monster romance type things. And I thought, I'd love to write something like that. I don't know if I'd be able to, because at that point I hadn't really written a reverse harem by myself. I've written with Quelty Fox. We have our Shifters of Starfall Creek series, and that was my first foray into writing both shifters and reverse harem. And I finally felt like I got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to try to do it. And I tried. And the same thing kind of happened with the Marriage Pact and Contemporary. I didn't necessarily think that I could pull off writing a contemporary, because most of what I write is paranormal, even though I read a ton of contemporary. So I thought, well, I'll never know until I try. This is usually how it goes with me. And I signed up to do an anthology that was Friends to Lovers. And I thought, well, it's a 5,000 word short story, so we can do that. We can bust that out. We can test the waters with that. And a 5,000 word short story turned into a 30-some thousand count book.
Yep, that sounds all right.
Yep.
Where I was like, oh, I have to stop this somewhere. I only have to submit 5K. That's all they want.
Do you have
That's all I
problems
need.
writing the smaller stories? Because I know if I'm given 5,000 words, I'm like, that's just not enough. I can't even get to the meat of the story if you've only given me that
I
little
thought
bit.
that I could do it. I thought it's like flashed for me because my first story that got published was 18,000 words.
Wow.
It was it was pretty condensed. I hadn't really written anything at that point. That was my first foray into writing. And I thought, I'm just going to write this short story. And it was 18,000 words and it was a full story. But after that, I can't, everything just seems to be getting longer. So it's hard for me to condense it all down, which is why the Marriage Pact ended up as a book. And not just a short story, so.
Yeah, my sweet spot is between 40 and 50.
Oh, see, I'm still between 60 and 80.
Lower, I have a hard time with it, and more, depending upon the book, I have a hard time with it. You know, sometimes I can get to 60 without issue. The first draft is usually short, and then I have to go in and add and everything like that.
Draft.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so 5,000 now would be a problem.
I think.
Although Joy was 3,500 words, because it was initially written for a anthology that just didn't come through. And I said, I think I don't want to be in this. I want to put this out myself because you guys don't have your stuff together.
Yeah.
They didn't get the number of people writing Christmas stories. So that's a Christmas story. So
that's sad when that falls through.
Yeah.
I saw that, by the way. I saw your graphics and your blurb and everything for Joy, and it sounds like such a cool story. Like,
yeah, that's the prequel to Silent Night. So Silent Night was a blast to write. It's very, a lot of people love it.
Once I stop writing 16,000 books and I actually sit down and read, I'd like to read it.
It's a short read. It's not a long read, but yeah. But it was fun.
I keep saying I'm gonna sit down and read, and then it just never happens.
I'm a fast reader too. So
I'm fast at everything.
I'm a fast reader when I do read, and I do really get invested in a book. My problem is I'll get so invested. That's why I read fast. But that's like all I want to do. Like I have to finish the book, or I can't do anything else.
Yeah, I read the Angels of Elysium series in 3 days.
Wow,
3 books, 3 days. Yep. Darren's reading it now. My husband's reading it now because I said you have to read this.
I read at a glacier pace compared to you guys.
I think my fastest series that I read, and I hate to say this, but also I love to say this, was Twilight. I read all the Twilight books in like a week. Like I was up at college, not doing my homework and reading Twilight.
Yeah. Well, you don't go to classes when you're reading. Come on.
Well, I was an art major too. Yeah. So I would come back to my dorm because I would get up and go to class and work on projects, and I would come home and work on projects. So I was just, it was, you went to class and you had a 4-hour class, but sat in front of a computer for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They didn't care what you did as long as your work was done and your projects were submitted on time. So I was at home reading Twilight.
So speaking of writing soon, what's the word count goal going to be for our joint work that we're starting next year?
I thought we were shooting for 60,000 per book.
Okay.
But, that's what we did for Running from the Devil. So
we powered through that one. I hope we have the same experience with this one.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done any co-writing, so I'm gonna have to get back into the swing of it.
Yes,
of course, you'll be my cast master.
I'm not even looking at the notes yet because I want a fresh look because I have notes. I love it. A fresh look. We'll sit down. We'll do that, and then probably the rest of my stuff will just go to hell in a basket because I want to do that.
I feel the same way when I'm co-writing. And I have a couple different co-writes planned for next year. So I have quite a few different co-authors that I'm working with. But yeah, like when you get into that and you're like, it's so much, I feel like in a sense, a little bit easier to fall into that than it is with the solo books because you're reliant on the other person, right?
Yeah,
you're reliant on
accountability.
Exactly. There's a leapfrog thing that you guys do as a co-writer and it's a accountability thing too.
That's the thing. No joke. When I did the first one with Jane, I was so scared I wouldn't be able to keep up because she writes so much faster than I do. I was like, she's going to hate me. I'm not going to be able to keep up. But because of that fear in the back of my mind, it was like, okay, do it. And
We
I was
did
able to
really
keep
well.
up. We did really
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Yeah. My husband doesn't know who wrote what.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's the best too. When
Yes.
people can't tell, they're like,
Yeah.
it's so seamless, you know?
Yeah,
We did a really
exactly.
good job of we leapfrogged chapters, but we both did the revisions. So we
Mhm.
layered both of our voices onto each of the chapters afterwards.
Right.
That's how Quell and I worked when we wrote our Shifters of Starfall Creek series. We went back and forth with the chapters. She had a set of characters and I had a set of characters. And then we would go through them and we would add our little suggestions or comments. And then when it was time to go over the entire document, we each went over it. So like I would go over it first, then she would go over it, and then we'd send it to the editor, and then we'd be working in chapters. So yeah, it definitely, to get that cohesive feel, it's more than just, you know, like you write this chapter, I write that chapter. Like, yeah, I completely understand that.
Yeah, and then
we
the
had
end result
scenes.
is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved that when we were co-writing, because I would get stuck and I wouldn't know how to move forward, but Jane seemed to always know how to move forward from her point, and then I could move forward from hers. It really did work like leapfrog.
Yes. Yep. Or tag you're it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I don't know how to get from here to there. And I'm like,
the
well,
other
I do,
thing-
so we're good.
The other thing I love about co-writing is like, because you're two different people, and hopefully, you know, like in a sense, if you have different strengths and different weaknesses, you know, you can kind of like lean on the other person or like learn a little bit more. I'm terrible at conflict. I just don't like conflict in general as a person, so I don't like to write conflict. And I know when writing with Quell, she's like the queen of conflict. She's so good at like putting in that angst and that conflict. And we always kind of would joke where she would say like she would go and write a scene and everybody would get like all angsty and fight, and then I would go in and clean it up and make everybody all happy and get everybody back on the same page. And I definitely think that in exposure to that, it's definitely helped my writing, you know, with just being able to pick up those little things. I still don't like to write conflict, but I do think that it definitely did help. So
Yeah, Katie taught me to if you're stuck here, write another scene and then
Come back.
bridge it. Yeah, go back and bridge it. And that has actually made my writing faster.
Because both you and I are very linear in our writing, and it's a struggle to go, I can't get to there because I don't know what I'm doing, even though you know what happens after. And it's like, okay, you got to learn to release that. You got to learn to just put the pin in it. And I do big brackets, something, and then close brackets.
I do the same thing. I put it like red and it'll be like, insert this here.
Yeah, insert something here.
And every now and then, like I will miss it, and it'll go to the editor, and you know, she'll find it. And she'll be like, "Oh my god, this took me out so bad." She's like, "Woman, you forgot."
Oh no!
Oh man, I'm like, "Whoops."
It happens. That's what the editor's for, thankfully.
She's like, "Woman, you need to add something here. This has ruined it for me."
Yeah.
Okay.
Jane, you do really good on the scene setting and the character depth, and I think my strength is probably in the snarky banter.
And you do well in action.
Yeah, that's true. I've always had fights in all of my stories.
Yes,
I like
you
physical
do well in
fighting.
action sequences. Yeah.
So yeah, we have good skills that work very well. So I'm
That's
looking
so
forward
awesome.
to it.
I am too.
It really is like magic when you do like find another person that you work so well with, you know, that you can bounce off of, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so probably at the time we're working on that, I'll be trying to get the next Ryan book out. And I'll be dabbling with that Christmas one because it's not going to come out before Christmas this year, so it'll be one for next year. Yeah,
too soon if you're working on it now. Yeah.
Well, for me and cheat on your NaNoWriMo and write a Christmas story in the middle. I'll be like, I only have a couple weeks to get this out. Can I do it? Probably shouldn't, but
that's how long it took me to do Silent Night.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2
Like I
weeks
said,
to
she's
do that book.
fast.
You know, but that was an idea that just went wild.
That
These
was
books
lightning.
came out. Yeah, these books came out pretty fast. At least the first and second one.
Well, don't point to it. Show us.
Oh, sorry.
She's like,
It's the hardcover. See?
That is such a cool book. Oh my God.
beautiful.
And that one is for sale now, right?
Yes, that is on sale now. The ebook for the full series will come out on the 13th.
Okay.
But the hardcover is out.
Oh,
So
gorgeous.
yes, the hardcover came out last month.
And how fun was it setting up the hardcover compared to the others?
I prefer paperbacks, but it's harder because Amazon for hardcover has a page limit. So you have to fit 4 books, or in one of my other cases, 6 books into that page limit.
What's the limit?
I think it's 550 pages.
That's it.
Okay.
That's why
Okay.
that book is 7 by 10, not 6 by 9.
So you
Okay.
can fit
So,
more words
so
on that page.
So thankfully they offer bigger packaging. But the covers are interesting. You need a cover artist that's willing to work it, because sometimes the Amazon templates are not accurate. They're off for some reason. We found that with the Ryan Chronicles, because that one I think it's 549 pages. So their template was not quite right.
Set up for
It was
that,
a little bit off, and my cover artist says, but I follow their template. So it's like, but they're saying it needs to be this, but I followed their template. And I'm like, oh. So, I'm not sure she knew how to fix it.
You're like, it's Amazon, anticipate an issue.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I had luck with like 3 of them without issues, and that was when it first came out in the beta version. But some of the later ones, and of course, all of my hardcovers are 7 by 10 because I want them all consistent.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
And in January, all 10 Fracture Fairy Tales will be in a special edition. I have to wait. Yes, I have to wait
cannot
for
wait
the
to see
cover
that.
artist. Yes. So that will be nice. I don't know if I'm going to do the ebook on that one.
Oh,
I think I'm
Yeah.
just going to do it in hardcover.
yeah. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, because I have 1 through 6 in a paperback, and I have 1 through 7 in a hardcover already. So I think I just want the 1 through 10 special.
And you've got to fit that within the 500 page limit.
550 page limit, and I have.
Oh man, that's
so that traditional thing of having the chapter on the odd page or the right hand page.
That goes out the window.
Is out with those books, but they will have nice, pretty chapter headings. So it's it was fun to do.
Ariel, I like the books that you showed us with the chapter pages.
Yes.
I love can you show? Yeah.
Yep. I'm just opening it to his page.
She's coming.
I love that.
Yes.
That is absolutely gorgeous. But I asked you to show us for a couple of reasons.
Yes.
One, because it's gorgeous. We got to showcase good formatting.
Yes.
But 2, because you did that, you have a full bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had like hell trying to get the journal that I've been working on to go through, because even though I said full bleed, it started dinging me everywhere that text wasn't within its margin guidelines, even though full bleed shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yep. This is what did it for me with the full bleed too. I had some issues with this, and we determined it was this title page that did it, because this one doesn't have any chapter fancies. It just has little, and it was like going back and forth, and both of these books were basically like, they're essentially like the same size, the same file, the same dimensions. And this one, voices went through perfectly fine with the headings and the graphics and everything, no issues. And then when we tried to put Marriage Pact through, it was the same book, same thing, but yet we had to go in and I had to manually change stuff to get it to go through, because Amazon just kept dinging it and saying that, it wouldn't go through.
And it shouldn't bother.
So weird.
It
It
shouldn't be
shouldn't
this
have an
hard.
issue. When you say full, no bleed or
It's
full
supposed to
bleed,
be no bleed. I mean, full
that's
bleed.
it right
Yeah.
there.
It's
Don't
supposed to be a full
margin.
picture. Yep.
So yeah, it kept giving me some weird thing about margins and dimensions, and I was like, oh, why don't you want to work? Because of course, too, when I was putting out Marriage Pact, this was a live release. I did not have a pre-order for this. This was just like out of nowhere. I was just like, oh, by the way, I wrote a book. So I was trying to get this all going. I'm like, oh my God, it's supposed to like go live today. Why isn't this working?
Oh yeah.
And there's really no alternatives. I know Ingram Spark has been pissing everybody off, so a lot of people are no longer working with Ingram Spark.
Yeah.
Not that you can get customer service to answer anytime you have an issue, but because they're also expensive too. So it leaves us with Amazon. And what's the other one? Draft to Digital has a print option, but their sizes are all wonky too.
Yeah.
Like they use Ingram, but they don't use half of the Ingram sizes.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, they take your ebook and do that, and it's just
You can still upload your own.
okay. I haven't done Draft to Digital book because I do it directly with Amazon and I do it directly with Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
I just saw that
Barnes
here.
and Noble just does Barnes and Noble, right? Or do they offer a wide distribution too?
I don't think they offer a wide distribution, but I do it through them, and I don't do the wide distribution on Amazon. But there's
not many options for us as indies. When we're kind of strangleholded by Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon sizes work well on Draft to Digital.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you do a 7x10. They do not have a 7x10, which I found out when I was trying to do a 7x10 workbook and then also do it on Draft to Digital. It's like, now I have to do like 7x9.5 or some weird measurement, which meant reformatting all the pages.
And you're like, no, yeah. Please no, please no, please no. Yeah, I'm fine. I find that 99.9% of the time, the covers for all my books go on Amazon and Barnes and Noble without issue. And Barnes and Noble, if you have a little issue, they will fix it.
Oh, well, that's nice of them.
Yeah, they'll do the whatever adjustments need to be in the background, and then voila. But it's just like, if it's off by below a 1/16 of an inch,
by a hair.
Yeah, by a hair, they'll do whatever they do in the background, and it's fixed. So, but it's just
Amazon covers and Ingram Spark covers are not the same. You have to have a separate one for each because they are not the same measurements.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and
That's
it's usually
really weird.
just a couple millimeters off, but they are not the same.
How they get you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The fun of formatting.
Oh yeah,
that's my personal hell. I
want to learn how to format.
Don't. You'll be in hell forever. You'll do what I
Mm.
did. I can format this. I can make a journal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I know how to do whatever I do in Word. That's about it.
Yeah, that's what I use right now for formatting if I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
But I do have other people who are much better at doing formatting.
Mm-hmm. And thankfully, Katie taught me drop caps for print books in Word. When they have the parentheses in front of them. So it's like, oh, thank God. Now I know how to do that. Woo!
That's an easy one.
I know. You just take the parentheses out, do drop caps, and then put it back in. At least that's the way I do it.
Yeah. And then you can also specify. I like doing a 2-drop cap instead of a 3-line drop cap. I think
that's what I do. I only do the 2-line. I don't like the 3 because the 3 just looks overbearing.
Yeah, it's way too big.
Yeah. So, yeah, mine are 2-line drops.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm actually working on formatting a book right now. I'm trying to do it myself anyway. And I normally use Kindle Create, especially for the ebooks or whatever when I'm done. So I'm just hoping to eventually. I would love to try. I know I hear a lot of stuff between Atticus and Vellum. I think I'm leaning more towards the Atticus end because most of the formatters that I use Atticus. And I would like to eventually learn it.
Yeah, they don't have the 7x10 though.
They don't either.
Atticus is a
but they do have 6x9. Huh?
It's a decent solution for basic formatting.
Yes.
They don't have all the bells and whistles, but they have enough for basic formatting.
But you do have to be careful with the size of the book coming out of there. Sometimes it's too big. I've run into that when it's too big for Amazon.
Okay.
It was
what
too
does
many
that?
megabytes.
What happens when it's too big? Is it just like
it comes up and says file is too big?
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh yeah, and Rebecca says Affinity Publisher. If you are looking for a Adobe clones for Photoshop Publisher and Illustrator, look up Affinity. They have all three. They are like $50 each, no subscription, and they work just as well.
I know many designers who use Affinity.
And they're coming out with the version 2.0 now. I just got an email about it recently, which has more features. So I will have to rebuy if I want to go to 2.0, but I can still use the original for as long as I want. And I have all three, and they are very good to use.
Yeah, I've got Affinity Publisher, but it's much more complex.
There's a learning curve there. There's definitely a learning curve there.
There's a huge learning curve there, and I just haven't taken the time.
Now,
Atticus was pretty easy. It's like upload.
Yeah, well, they pretty much.
Yeah.
They give you, here's the basics that you can use.
Too big for Amazon, sure. That's what you were gonna say. Size matters, okay?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Now, for ebook formatting, I actually do a lot of my formatting in Word, and then just to get the basics of, the design, and then I send it over to Calibre, and then I go in and I edit their format. So I format it from Word to an EPUB, and then I go in and I actually edit the doc, and I play with the different coding inside to get the special effects that I want for it to work.
I did not know you could do that. I learned something new today.
And that's a free program. So if you are willing to play with code, you can do that, and you can change a lot of things, fix a lot of issues, and it's not that hard once you start looking at it and it makes sense.
It's like when you look at code. Yes, okay. I'm a business analyst for a reason.
So there was a recent sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, Affinity's great. I would suggest anybody who wants to really, do formatting, take a look at it, or even photo work for making your own ads and stuff.
Very cool. Don't say that. My husband is listening.
Hey, you started it, Rebecca. But yeah, don't learn formatting if you don't want to be in hell forever, because you will.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a perfectionist and you're like, I have to make it work.
Yeah, I I'm just like, oh shit, it doesn't work. What do I do?
And you'll spend hours fighting with it because you're like, I can do this. I know there's a way to make this work.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Until I figured it out, I just had everything as caps instead of drop caps on my paperback. the first 4 words of every line. So it's just like, no. And drop caps, even if you do an EPUB through Draft to Digital, with drop caps, the drop caps drop even more than the first line. It's awful.
Now that was the workaround for a lot of people with formatting, was you could take a Word doc, send it up to Draft to Digital, and they would format the ebook for you.
Yeah.
And you could get by with a decent looking EPUB. They had their little special design items and everything, but their formatting from the EPUB or the Word doc to a paperback was so basic it was laughable.
Yeah. Exactly.
God, weeks later, I knew I could finish out drop.
Yeah, pretty much. That was me.
Insert drop caps, go to custom. Simple.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it always is, though? You overthink it. You're like, there's got to be this path, and we have to do this, and it's like, no, it's just, it's like this.
Yep.
You're like, oh,
Exactly.
To everyone else's credit, though, how many times has Microsoft Word changed its bar layout and what's in
oh
where?
my
So,
God,
yeah.
Mhm.
It wasn't basic. It was shit. What was shit? Word?
I don't know. She's just going.
She just got off on a
You
tangent
got her all
there.
fired up.
Oh, love it. You never know what she's going to say next.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was pleased to see the way that the books have come out, though, the hardcovers. Once I got them after all the pain and suffering.
For all the rigmarole.
Oh yeah, D2D paperback, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and mind you, it takes forever to get a hardback. I think if it's through their publishing thing, where they're print on demand, I think it's going to take forever, even if you buy it off Amazon, because
Mhm.
it takes
A while to print.
it takes a while to
That's
print
that.
and get out and all of that. So yeah, and paper shortages and all that, happy
Yeah.
horseshit. So
Yeah.
at least that's what they were feeding me
But
for a while.
the end product was worth the wait, though. It looks
Yes,
gorgeous.
Amazing.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it does, and it feels nice. It's
It
soft.
does, doesn't it? I love the feel of, yeah. the
Yeah.
Now,
hardbound
I
book
have a
in hand.
question
Mhm.
regarding your hardcovers too. I know I've been seeing a lot of authors doing this lately in regards to hardcovers, is they're doing Kickstarters. Is that something that you did or did not do? No.
Nope.
I've been seeing that a
did it.
lot, like
Yeah.
of people like doing this, and I guess it makes sense. Especially hearing you talk about like the process of the hardback and everything. But I was just
Yeah.
curious because I've been seeing
Sorry,
that
I'm
as like
just
a new
laughing.
trend or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just figured I wanted the books in one package, and and these are pretty.
My God, I just
Oh.
And I'm like, when they came out with the beta version, I'm like, yeah, I'll join it, I'll do it, because
Yeah.
All for that
And-
pretty package.
yep, all for that pretty package, and then my shelves have less books on them, and I can put more of other people's books.
I want to
'Cause
get to that point. I'm starting
Yeah.
to amass too many books to put on my own shelves, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to put all my friends' books up there too. And it's just, I need another book. I need another bookcase.
Yeah, we went from lots of bookcases down to 2. So when we moved up here, yeah, and they're 2 small ones. So it's like I have to be judicial. Yes, I do love my pretties. But it will benefit my fans, because all the paperbacks will end up being signed giveaways.
That's
So I'm
awesome.
like, yeah, I love these, but there's no more room. There's no
Yeah.
more room at the end, and I want all my Arcane Society book boxes.
Oh,
Now, how often do those come out?
They come out every other month.
Okay.
So, so at the end of they started off behind because everything was behind.
Right.
But yeah, I should get my other books. They should have gone out by the end of this past week. So I didn't look and see if there was an update that they, got into LA and were shipped. But yeah.
Just picking up all the innuendos.
Yes. So.
I mean, you were over there saying you wanted a pretty big package. I mean, how could she
Yes.
not?
Yes, exactly.
Speaking of romance.
Why do you think I'm having my husband read the books?
Oh, I like that.
spicy over there.
Yes, it is.
Now, speaking of,
Mm.
I've seen a lot of ads popping up on Reels where people are really playing on that sexy angle of their book. They have a really sexy guy, and they'll be doing the wording for some part of their book, or something to really entice people to read with some suggestiveness. Have you done any of that for your books?
I have. So I've done it though, and I guess in a sense, I just recently hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, so I'm still small potatoes, not necessarily getting, I don't want to say getting caught or whatever, but I've done the book flips. I've done a couple of those, where it's just that, and I highlight the stuff, and then sometimes try to blur little things out. I've also done trailers where I have like, more hot guys or two people together or whatever with like a small blurb or a small excerpt from the book. I would love to do a live read. I don't know if I would be able to get away with that, but yeah, I definitely do try to highlight some of the saucier parts of my books. Some are easier to put up, little excerpts that don't have any adult words in them than others. And then when I would try to do ones for, say, Starfall Creek, I'd go on and try to pick out an excerpt, and I'd be like, I gotta edit out a lot of this stuff I can't say. And then other ones where I'm like, okay, it's a little more, innuendo. But yeah, I definitely have done it. I love doing it. It's fun, as long as I don't get yelled at.
They're interesting. I've seen some creative ones up there, and they are definitely enticing. They, without having to be that, hey, buy my book kind of feel like a lot of ads tend to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't mastered TikTok.
I haven't mastered it yet either. I just know that I enjoy making the content on there and having fun with it, just as a person who likes to be my awkward self, and apparently at least 1,020 other people think I'm funny and awkward.
That's good.
There you go. That's important.
But most of my content that I do try to keep a mix of where I do trailers, but I'll do me like lip syncing or talking or just doing like trendy type stuff. Every now and then I'll try to do like get to know me things and with music and stuff like that, and I just have fun with it. So
well, that's kind of, if you're not having fun doing it, it becomes a chore.
Right.
And it does, we've talked before, it's a time sink, all the marketing we have to do. So if you find something that you can enjoy doing, it doesn't feel so much of a, okay, gotta get the marketing done.
Yeah. Don't feel so much like a hamster on a wheel.
Right. Exactly.
And it's hard because the trends change so fast.
They do.
With what's working now versus what's going to be working in the next, month or so, that you do feel like you're on that hamster wheel.
And new places pop up all the time. Like right now we've got Hive, and that's a big one. And I've seen a lot of people migrating over to Hive. I migrated over to Hive. So it's just kind of like, the trends and the different things they just pop up all the time. And it can be definitely like, like being a hamster on a wheel.
And then what time do you have to write?
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any decent editing software. So that's my problem. I have these, awful free things that kind of suck. And I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't fun for me. This isn't really fun. And it doesn't give me all the, or it doesn't give me the basics, can I, how do I transition from one shot to another? I want some of the basic, fade in, fade out, and, not whatever. And I want to be able to pick which one I want for each transition, not necessarily have one for everything. So whatever I have sucks.
I hear you on that. I don't even have any of the editing, the video editing software stuff on my phone at all. I just mostly use like just what's in TikTok or what's in Canva. So I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. About like, I would love to have something where I could like choose a transition for each slide.
Right.
And not have to apply the same transition, but I
right.
don't think I'm there yet. Unless I would go back into getting like Adobe Premiere or something like that. Because I actually do have a degree in digital art, so like I know a little bit about digital editing, even though it's probably changed since I graduated college like over 10 years ago.
We won't say how long I graduated. I've got a communications radio and television editing. Okay, so I use the beta editors from way back when, or 1-inch tape. So yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. I have something in my throat.
And a master control board.
But I would love to maybe get back into that whole side of it. But I wouldn't even know like where the first place to look would be for, like, I know there's so many editing apps for like TikTok and stuff.
And I want something simple.
Yeah.
But not so simple that I don't have creative fun with it.
Right.
But I'm just too tired to look for the software.
Well, between all the marketing and the writing and everything else, then
and the day job. I have a full-time day job.
Let me ask this though too, because TikTok is the big one.
Mm-hmm.
But Facebook is obviously trying to steal the idea. So they've got Reels, which is also on Instagram. But the Reels between Facebook and Instagram are totally different class. Like Facebook's Reels really suck, but Instagrams aren't so bad. And they should be the same. They're owned by the same people. But then you've also got YouTube Shorts. And each one is like trying to capitalize on this TikTok theme. And they have different incentives. Like I know Facebook is really trying hard. They're paying more money for people who are actually getting, their real seen. So have you gone from TikTok to try to capitalize on any of the other platforms that are doing this?
I've tried Reels and I've tried TikTok. And I will say I prefer TikTok over Reels. I like the simplicity a little bit better. I feel like my videos are just viewed better on TikTok than they are on Reels. And I just feel like the audience is different versus TikTok and Reels. I feel like a lot more of book talk, in my opinion, are on TikTok and just Instagram. They're not like necessarily like doing the Reels. They are more like book bloggers or book talkers with the posts than they are with the Reels. But then it's more of the video-based content on TikTok. I think, at least, from what I've tried.
Instagram is getting bigger with their Reels.
I'm trying to build my audience on Instagram, and it's just taking a little while.
But what blows my mind is Facebook and Instagram are the same.
I know. They're like
why are they not the same thing? Like you can't post, if you post a Reel on Facebook, you can't easily port it over to Instagram. You have to go back to Instagram and do it individually. Yeah. And you can tell because the Facebook Reels, at least as far as I've seen, kind of suck.
Yeah.
And Instagram, it's like, okay, they're actually starting to get more of that TikTok flavor.
Yeah.
Of course. And then there's also YouTube Shorts, which again, it's trying. And it's the same short platform. They've even got their own special button when you go on the YouTube homepage to look at shorts.
I did not even know that.
Yep.
That's new information.
And you can separate out your videos by hashtagging them shorts as long as it fits within the short guideline. And those are getting more exposure too. I've as an experiment, I don't personally do them, but for one of my clients, we tried putting up some of the shorts and those get way more views than her traditional videos.
Oh, wow.
So, and again, it's copying the TikTok themes. Everybody's trying to capture that in their own way.
And it's little shorts versus the regular videos. So maybe that's
that same vertical format, even though the screen is still wide. They still want the same vertical format in under 60 seconds.
Just feels like everybody's trying to recreate Vine is what it is. It's that instant, instant gratification, that quick delivery.
Well, our attention spans are gone, so anything more than 60 seconds and nobody really wants to pay attention, it seems.
Right.
It's built for that. Yeah, it's perfect for people like me with ADHD to get sucked into TikTok or whatever for 3 hours when you should be writing. You're like, whoops.
Yeah. Guilty.
Yep.
All the time.
You fall into the rabbit hole and you just can't get out. You're like, just one more video. Just one more video. Just one more video.
Just scroll.
Especially if you get stuck on some of these like algorithms where you end up seeing the dudes with the thirst traps, and then you're like, well, yeah, I didn't realize that was 3 hours, but all right. Not mad about that.
Just one more video. Okay, just one more video.
Yep.
Yeah. Or worse, when you find somebody and you like one of their videos, now immediately you want to see their entire discography, their videography of stuff. And then you're like, "Ooh, I just watched like their entire backlog of 1 minute videos."
Yep.
Mm.
Uh-oh. What is she saying now?
That's why Katie joined.
Oh,
me.
yes, we're gonna do sprints after
Me and
this.
cattle.
Oh, nice.
She always
Yeah.
threatens. Always threatens.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's my evening for tonight. I'm going to be cattle prodded by Rebecca into doing sprints because I've got a
I just see
deadline.
her thing over here. I didn't realize I was so thirsty. Maybe just a few more. Exactly what it is, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh man.
Quite parched. Let me just open that app up.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, some of those videos are really cool, all right?
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
no. No, Rebecca's really good at motivation, and I suffer from the I'm just gonna take a break for a few minutes, and that few minutes turns into hours, and then
Mhm.
shit, I'm still on a deadline, and then I don't
Yep.
sleep. And so having that accountability partner is
Yes.
always helpful for staying on track.
I
Yeah.
am so
I've
guilty
been
of that. Yeah.
I've been crappy this week. I think I've only gotten like 3,000 words in the entire week.
That's shocking for you.
Hmm
Wow.
Well, fasting, so my brain wasn't working.
Oh yeah, no.
And then getting back on track and like, oh yeah, I gotta write.
I told you about the diet I tried to do, and I went like completely carb free. And I couldn't figure
wow.
out why I wasn't able to write. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't think. You
Mhm.
need carbs.
Yeah.
And the
Well, I
minute I
didn't even have my caffeine either.
It's
So
me and the coffee. Yeah, like
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I don't drink coffee. My coffee is V8 energy, so it's blueberry
Oh,
pomegranate, so
okay.
it's juice.
still get
I
the
can't
caffeine.
have juice out of fast.
Oh no.
No.
So yeah. I did get into day 4 by an hour. So
Oh, Jane, you want to join us?
I'm gonna go sit by the fire with Darren and watch. Well, Elf will be over because he's watching Elf. I can hear them all singing in the
Oh my
background.
gosh. Smiling's my favorite.
We haven't
So,
even broken into the holiday classics yet.
yeah, no, I don't drink coffee. I've never drank
You've
coffee.
just
This
broken
is
Rebecca's
me
mind.
with coffee.
I live on coffee.
I
Do you
never
watch the
have
Hallmark
tried.
movies at all? I know you were saying
Sometimes.
busting some of them.
Yeah. Every now and then we'll put it on because, and then we'll laugh at the directions and how bad,
So
some of the
So you may
things
like this.
are.
Then something I do on my TikTok, and it started out because initially when I started out writing,
Yeah.
before I started writing books, I reviewed romance books and I reviewed like Hallmark movies because
Okay.
I am not a huge fan of Hallmark. I've never been a
Mhm.
huge fan of Hallmark. So I like
Yeah.
I would review them and kind of like riff them.
Yeah.
And it just turned into like a fun like yearly thing. So I brought it back this year and I've been putting them on my TikTok.
Yep.
Where I watch one Hallmark movie, like or 1 to 2 of them, like a week, and then I'll put like a little review on TikTok about it, and on Reels on Instagram, and it's Wrong Turn Romance, and so we've been watching a whole bunch of these Hallmark movies, and I have to say, like a couple of them this year, they ended up being really good, and I actually really like them.
Right.
So I'm having so much fun watching them this year,
Oh,
and I know
yeah.
that Hallmark has kind of gone in a different direction this year because I guess they have a new CEO or something.
Okay.
And I'm loving some of these movies. They're awesome. Some of them are still really funny. Some of them are still very hard.
Yeah. One of
Other
them
ones, not
we
so much.
laughed because it went from up north up here down to Charleston, South Carolina, driving. And
when it's unrealistic
from Connecticut down, and it was all back roads, and all their signs were like these little square things that probably just somebody slapped the state name. And
oh my god,
we were laughing. And Charleston, South Carolina, in the movie had snow. Charleston gets snow maybe once every 10 years.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
the
not
town
even
square
in the
of Charleston they had, it was like, that is not downtown Charleston, people. and I'm like, do they even do any research?
And we were
having such a fun time going back and forth, just speeding the thing up.
One of the things we'll do when we watch them is usually we'll have like a bottle of wine, and you can usually tell how much I've enjoyed the movie based upon how much wine I've had. And the very first one that we watched, it was kind of like that, where it was like everything was very like cookie cutter.
Yep.
And some things just didn't fit. And they had like, I think one of the characters was the daughter, and she kept like obsessing over this little village that her grandmother had, and she was like 14, and I was like, where is this child's laptop? Where is their TikTok?
Exactly.
This is not
reality here. And I'm like,
like, she has no friends.
so
She's just
hard.
sitting here playing with the village. Okay, all right.
And all the Christmas scenes are in the town village, and they're all the same.
I laugh because there's certain things I noticed, like I think it was in a couple of the movies that it was like the same kitchen set. I was like, we just saw this kitchen set 2 weeks ago. Little things like that.
Yeah.
But
This year we've watched some Netflix. We watched one on Amazon, one of the new Christmas movies, and they're entertaining, and they're actually, geographically accurate.
I want to say that like some of watching them, at least this year, is definitely like what kind of like really pushed me and helped me, and how I ended up writing Bite Me, which is very Hallmarkian, and it has some little things in there where they both like the Hallmark movies, and I think I even coined the phrase in there, Hallmark and chill, which I'm hoping to get on some merch.
Nice.
Like, so it's been all Hallmark movies over here, which is hilarious considering the fact that I've never liked Hallmark movies.
All right. Then, before we go, since we're at the hour, what is one Hallmark-ish recommendation you would make for me to watch?
I'm gonna say the two that I really liked was In Merry Measure, which is kind of like a Christmassy Pitch Perfect. Oh, and it was written by a man who I found on TikTok. And he does like some script writing type thing, but he travels the country and does like reviews and stuff of beer. He's a craft beer guy. So I think the story plus like the movie, like some of that, like is definitely one I'd recommend. Okay. And then the other one I would recommend, which I did not think in my life that I would have liked, was Three Wise Men and a Baby. I was trying to wear my reverse harem hat for that one, but it wasn't working out.
Okay, normally I don't. Three Wise Men and a Baby. Okay.
Normally I don't like some of the stuff that has babies in it, but it was actually a really good movie. The guys had like personalities, they were fun, and it was really good. I ended up liking that one.
Okay. All right. And Jane, what would you recommend?
Well, it's not really a Hallmark movie, but I like Spirited. But that's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, well, that is a good movie.
That's already on my list.
Good recommendation.
And then, what was the one that we watched? It had Brooke Shields and Carrie Elwes.
Oh, I know this one. I can't remember what it was called. Christmas at the Castle or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It was.
But she was a romance writer, and he was like, "Oh God, I loved it." That was
and he had a meltdown on television.
Wait, it had Wesley in it.
Yes,
it did. Yeah. Wesley. Oh my God.
Okay, I'm watching that just for Wesley.
And he is like a broody little castle owner, and I loved it.
Yes, it was really good.
I'm watching that.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you guys happen to watch any of these videos, put a comment below and let us know what your favorite Hallmark-ish holiday video is, or if any of these were good or bad. Always fun. But yeah, I will definitely check those out. And Ariel, thanks for hanging out with us. I have your links in the show notes below, so if anybody wants to find her books, definitely check her out. And are we back next week, Jane? I think we are.
Hold please.
I think we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then we will see all of our lovely viewers next week. Thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. See you around. Enjoy those Hallmark movies.
Thanks.
Bye.